Alright guys, what's going on today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going over the new Boruto episode 202. Now this episode, it's okay. We see some pretty good stuff. I do like the animation in this episode. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but the animation is better. You can see Boruto's face has changed. Unfortunately, looking at the preview for episode 203, it doesn't look like we're getting the animation that we got in episode 189. I think they might be saving that for episode 205 or 207, whenever the Isshiki fight happens, where Team 7 versus Boro, and we see Isshiki or we see Momoshiki come out. Anyways, this episode follows the other half of chapter 35. Even though they removed the Karma and Byakugo seal scene, that stuff is gone. But it starts off with Sasuke traveling to the Otsutsuki dimension, which is Jigen's little area where he has the 10 tails stored, and he sees all the Otsutsukis. Now what's funny is that they all attack him, which is weird, as in the manga it doesn't happen. In the manga, Kinshiki nor Momoshiki attack anyone on the pillar. Well, in this, anyone who steps on the platform, they get attacked. Kind of surprising. Does that mean they protect the 10 tails or something like that? So then Sasuke checks each individual statue on the wall, and he sees the far right two, they're destroyed. Now I don't know what the far two are. They haven't been explained in the manga or anything yet. Those two are still unknown. Now judging by the way the pillars are set up, you have Isshiki and Kaguya in the center one. You have Momoshiki and Kinshiki in the left one. In the right one, I'm not sure who it is, but looking by the way the pillars are, it's the center one is higher ranking than the left two and the right two. So I think Isshiki and Kaguya have a higher ranking than the left two and the right two. Anyways, Sasuke then sees the 10 tails and he looks at it. He doesn't know how many tails there are at first, but he sees a tailed beast and it tries attacking Sasuke, but it doesn't work because it wants to eat him. And then you see Jigen appear. Jigen appears and Sasuke sees Jigen absorb the 10 tails power, and he sees the horn come out. Sasuke knew right away that the person who Jigen is, or the Otsutsuki Jigen is the same image he saw on pressing the statue where the other Otsutsuki are. Then Jigen calls the tailed beast a 10 tail, and you see Sasuke is surprised, and Sasuke sees that this is really bad, and then he has to go report to Naruto, which the scene then cuts out. You know, this is all Sasuke stuff from here. Then we got into Boro's cult. Now Boro's cult is built different. Alright, this shit is just, I don't know what they're doing with this. Alright, in the manga there wasn't much to Boro's cult except near chapter 56 or so when Code decides to go to his hideout, but that's about it. The way they made Boro, it's like he's a righteous man and everything, but in reality he's not. Also, we get to see the name of the blue-haired girl, which her name is Inori, and like I said in my previous videos, I'm pretty sure she has a bigger role in the future because there's a reason why she has blue hair and she has full animation in her eyes and everything. Usually characters that are fully animated or fully designed, they're gonna have a role for sure in the future. And the way she sticks out of her whole group, and they gave her a name on top of that, I know they're plotting something with her. Maybe she likes Boro or something, and when Boruto, Sarada, and them destroy Boro, she maybe gets angry later on in the future, which they might do like a small filler arc or something to, you know, let the story expand a bit. Something might be like that, where she fights Sarada, because Sarada's the one who actually took down Boro. Sarada's the one who actually destroyed Boro's core, but it was Isshiki who actually defeated him. Who knows, she may come back in the future to extract revenge. So then Boro talks about the Otsutsukis and talks about Kaguya and how the 5 nations destroyed Kaguya, and that she had a divine tree and it was all destroyed and everything. Now this part is kind of messed up, is because it relates back to Shippuden, and they're not talking anything about Shippuden. All they talk about is the 5 nations destroyed Kaguya and stuff like that. The Kaguya fight was okay in the last part of Shippuden, but it wasn't as serious as to when she fought her sons and they went for a whole month-long, you know, type of fight. That was a completely different thing. But you notice that he doesn't say anything about Kaguya fighting her sons and how the 10 tails husk was stored on the moon and stuff like that. It is kind of pulled out of their ass type writing here. He keeps mentioning the infinite Scumio. Now if I recall correctly, I'm not 100% sure on this. Don't you need like a Rain Sharingan to activate the infinite Scumio, as Madara did it and Kaguya did it? Which I don't understand how this kind of goes down. Because I remember Madara at the end of Shippuden, he uses his third eye to awaken the moon and reflects, you know, the Genjutsu, which then causes the divine tree to gather up everybody. And whoever the light hits, the divine tree absorbs, which we've seen. Also, who has a Rain Sharingan to activate the Genjutsu, or are they going to use the 10 tails Rinnegan? That's a possibility. And the other thing is, Toneri's on the moon. Since they're going to need the moon for the infinite Scumio, I think there's going to be something related to Toneri with this. But this is all a big mindfuck. I don't know how they're going to do it, because Sasuke is the only one with the Rain Sharingan right now, and nobody else. So let's see what happens. So I don't understand what they're pulling out of here. I'm pretty sure this is kind of bullshit writing, adding the different Skimio thing, but this is kind of a plot hole. They gotta look into this stuff. Another thing they added was that Boro goes to the crashed airship where Kawaki was in, and he rips off the panel and he finds something. I'm assuming this is a frog because the way it's all squishy and everything. And then later on in the episode, Boro mentions that he found this inside the cockpit, and then Kashin Koji left this there. He specifically states Kashin Koji, which then goes on to future chapters where I'm thinking Jigen got suspect of Koji, and he tells Boro off screen to go check, and he ends up finding that frog thing or whatever. So when Jigen defeats Sasuke and Naruto in the next episode or the episode after, I think when Naruto is sealed, you see Boro come up, and that's when Boro gives him the little frog thing, which Jigen gets more suspect, which goes on to future chapters in the mid-40s when Kashin Koji fights Jigen, and Jigen's like, I know you're a traitor. So I guess that relates to that. He got suspect in the last 2 episodes when Delta told them that Kashin Koji was up to something. So I think he sent out Boro on his own rather than having Amato go check it out, because he probably thinks Amato is a traitor too at this point if he's working with Koji. So this all adds up to future parts. They also changed a lot of stuff from the manga. So in the manga, end of chapter 35, Boruto and Mitsuki go ask the 5th Hokage about the Byakugo seal, and while they're going to her is when Jigen appears. And when Jigen appears out of Kawaki's karma, Boruto's karma activates, and then the fight between Jigen and Naruto breaks out. Well, in the anime, Boruto and Mitsuki went training. Now, their training was kind of bullshit, in my opinion, where all you see is Boruto throwing shurikens. Like, bro, you talked all that big talk last episode. All you go do is shuriken training. Like, bro, what? Like, I'm not talking shit. I know shuriken training is still pretty good, but he's talking all this and that. Like, I'm gonna go train Mitsuki. I'm hyped. Let's go train. And all they do is shuriken throwing. Like I said, this stuff's been changed from the manga. Now, on the way back, when Boruto and Mitsuki leave, they're going back to the village, is when they're jumping through the trees, and I think that's where the manga panel actually comes in from. Mitsuki asked Boruto in the anime, he's saying, what would you do if the karma is permanent? Now, I feel like they're foreshadowing this with 2 things. First is it goes to chapter 48, 49, and chapter 58, where Boruto's like, I have my resolve. In chapter 48, 49, he tells Sasuke to kill him if he ever transforms, and in chapter 58, he tells Naruto, I'm willing to take the pills. I know my resolve. He's like, I thought about this for a long time. I think Mitsuki questioning him kind of makes that resolve stronger, saying, what would you do if you can't get rid of karma? And the second thing is, their foreshadowing is Boruto might leave the village in the future, saying, what would you do if the karma can't be removed? You know, like, it kind of scares Boruto. But that was about it for this episode. Then we get on to the preview for episode 203. Now, I believe next episode, halfway starts the fight of the Sasuke Naruto Jigen fight. Reason I say that is because of the preview. Now, if you looked at the preview for this week's episode in last week, you can see everything they gave in this episode was shown in last week's preview. So in the next preview, we don't see much of the fight. We see a little bit, and we just see the inside house fight. That means 204, they might up the animation and might show the actual fight, and then that's when they get their ass whooped or whatever. That's when 2 or 3 chapters fly by, and then it goes on to Shikamaru and them outside of Naruto's house, which goes on to chapter 40, and then so forth with 43 when they fight Boro and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot to expect in these chapters coming up. Like I said, in this episode, we see Boro's weird ass cult, and then we finally see the dimension, the Otsutsuki dimension. It feels more dangerous in the manga than it does in the anime. The anime, I feel like, doesn't express that area quite a bit. As in the manga, you look at it, you're like, this is somewhere completely different, and I don't know, it shows it much differently. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Stay tuned for my future videos. This chapter coming up is something big, I know, and it's something big with the episode as well, because they both come out on the same day, so we'll see where that goes. Anyways, peace out.